The man seemed to have discovered something, so he lowered his head to examine it carefully. He saw several ants carrying over a set of nanotech armor. Before he could even react, the suit instantly enlarged. Just then, a patrolling prison guard was preparing to check the cells. The ants quickly lined up to form numbers, signaling the man to put on the suit immediately. After a moment's hesitation, he decided to put on the nanotech armor. In a panic, he managed to shrink down to the size of an ant just before the guard arrived, slipping out under the guard's foot, easily squeezing through the door crack, and then leaping off a 10-centimeter ledge. What he saw next made his legs go weak with fear. He was surrounded by a swarm of muscular ants. Luckily, the ants didn't attack him. Suddenly, a massive ant flew overhead. It turned out the doctor had sent it specifically to rescue him. Meanwhile, the warden issued a full city alert to capture the escaped convict. Without hesitation, the man mounted the flying ant. While the prison guards were frantically searching for him, they had no idea he was right beside them, just behind a piece of glass. The next moment, a motorcycle sped past, and the powerful wind blast blew the man into a city bus. He crawled into a woman's hair, then was flung onto a newspaper, and finally tossed out the window. A whirlwind carried him from a manhole cover into the sky, thousands of meters high. Because he had a fear of heights, the altitude made him dizzy. As soon as he closed his eyes, he began to fall. When he awoke, he found himself lying on a bed. Just as he tried to get up, he noticed the floor was crawling with ants. Carefully stepping onto the carpet, he realized the ants were parting to make way for him. He had arrived at Dr. Jack's villa. Years ago, Dr. Jack invented a remarkable formula that allowed molecular cohesion between objects and enabled precise control over their size. It was one of the greatest scientific breakthroughs in the world. But if this technology fell into the wrong hands, the consequences would be disastrous. Jack had originally intended to destroy the formula, but his apprentice secretly preserved it and even created a wasp suit, planning to sell it to the military at a high price. If the transaction succeeded, it would create an unstoppable high-tech army, a global threat. Dr. Jack had rescued Scott with one goal in mind, to have him infiltrate the facility and steal the wasp suit. Becoming a qualified Ant-Man wasn't easy. Scott needed unwavering mental focus and the ability to freely manipulate his size. Training began immediately. He had to accelerate and pass through a keyhole on a door. Though Scott was brimming with confidence, he kept slamming into the door. So Jack had his daughter train him in hand-to-hand combat instead. Scott thought fighting a woman would be easy until she landed a solid punch on his face. Next came the challenge of communicating with ants. He had to enter their nest and build trust. But as soon as he greeted them, they mistook him for prey and surrounded him. Terrified, he broke through the soil and fled. Realizing he had to start small, he began tending to the ant larvae and running 8 kilometers every morning with the ants. Over time, he finally earned their acceptance. Scott's first mission was to infiltrate S.H.I.E.L.D. and steal a signal jammer. He assumed his small size would make the job a breeze, but complications arose when Falcon happened to be patrolling the area. Dr. Jack ordered Scott to abort, but Scott stubbornly refused and charged ahead, quickly being spotted by Falcon. A fight broke out. Though Falcon was battle-hardened, he was no match for an enemy who could shrink at will. Scott threw Falcon over his shoulder, mounted his wings, and